Thanks, Jet. Hi, we now know that you and the rest of Cloud9 are going to be facing Team Curse in the semifinals. So what are you taking away from those games today?
Well, I'm happy that Curse won, obviously. But at the same time, they played so well. They 3-0 CLG, and they're so dominant. I don't want to play them anymore. Like, I don't know if we could 3-0 CLG, but they did, and they played extremely well. So we definitely have to watch out for them. And I'm happy that they got to where they are.
All right, well, now if we are to project forward beyond NA playoffs and you do go to Worlds, having watched a team, CLG specifically, kind of adapt some of the Korean styles, come back here and get defeated rather handily by an NA-style team, are you guys confident that you can compete on the world stage?
I don't think CLG going to Korea and capping a few other things and coming back in the grand scheme of things is that big of a deal. I think the top 5 Korean teams are arguably probably like the best teams in the world. But besides that point, CLG wasn't winning scrims in North America before they went to Korea anyway. So it's not like they were going to magically go to Korea and start winning all of a sudden. They lost in North America. They lost in Korea. There's not going to be that much that will change in the grand scope of things. If they somehow became Super Saiyan on the way back, then great. But they didn't become Super Saiyan. And I don't think just because we can beat the Korean CLG, we'll be able to beat the other Korean teams. But I think that does show that we have a chance.
I know that a lot of fans are going to be curious to know, going into PAX, what the player experience is like when you go to a giant convention like that. Because here at home, right, you have a set scheduled throughout the season, but then when you kind of travel to these bigger events and they're spread out over more days, what's the itinerary like for Cloud9 in this next week?
Well, for us, we fly out on Wednesday or Thursday, and I still actually have to check if I can fly or not. I should probably get that checked out. But anyway, moving forward, we have days where we have to do some sponsor activities, of course, but we're making sure we get our practice in. We're making sure we have our time to do our pick and ban strategy, and we're making the best of all the time that we have. So we'll fly out Thursday. We'll get our scrims in. We'll get our information down. We'll try to figure out a plan and make sure that everything's okay.
All right, and then one final question, again related to PAX, is how different is it playing on, 1, a different stage, 2, in front of a different crowd? And is it difficult to cope with that in a high-pressure environment like that, or is it helpful to have, you know, that roaring crowd behind you?
Honestly speaking, if the crowd is cheering for you, that feels great. But if the crowd is cheering TSM over and over or something like that, it's kind of annoying and distracting, but it's not that big of a deal. As far as playing at a new stage, if it's not a bad stage, like if I can't hear the other team, or if there's not like some weird malfunction or something, then it's perfectly fine. So we've been to PAX before, and the last time we played there, it went well for us. So I think the stage will be somewhat similar, I'm hoping. So it shouldn't be any new territory to us. So I'm excited to play, and I like playing in front of a big crowd.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for joining us here on the desk today and providing some valuable insight, as well as wish you best of luck in your matches next week. I know I'm quite excited to see them. But for now, we're going to throw it back over to Riv and Kobe at the caster desk.
Thank you very much, Dash, and let's pull up our bracket as it continues to fill out here. With their win today, Curse advanced to the semifinals and will face off against the #1 seed, none other than Cloud9.
Meanwhile, CLG will face off against Dignitas and will play for the 5th place spot.
That's
and
right.
to avoid a trip to the Spring Promotion Tournament, we'll be bringing you that match next week, live from PAX.
Yes, we will. We'll also have a best-of-5 series between Latin American team PAX and the Brazilian Kaboom Esports as they battle for the final international wildcard spot in the 2014 World Championship. So mark your calendars for next Friday, August 29th, starting at noon Pacific, 9 p.m. Central European Time. But we've still got more action coming your way today. After a quick break here, Freak and Zyrene will be taking over for the North American Challenger Series Finals between Curse Academy and Team 8. We'll be right back.
Oh, yeah.
How do you say Cogma in Espanol? What is he? What is he, like a worm?
Gusano.
El Usano.
That's how you say Cogma.
Dexter's doing a nice job in the back line, takes down one. Cop trying to focus the DPS from the outside, and he starts to shut down a bit of that early DPS to impact the fight. On to Aframu, he's down. Double Lift gets the hit. Quas is just way too big. It's going to be on to Link. Can they take him down? Oh, he gets the last breath. No, actually just gets the last Q, sorry, and the hit for the kill as he flashes in. Seraph's going to be the next target here. Cannot get any whimsy out. He goes down, though.